Assalamualaikum Dr. Nur Aslili and lecturers. Are you ready? Can I start?
Waalaikumsalam.
Waalaikumsalam, ready?
Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum and salam sejahtera. Thank you for our speaker, lecturers and students who joined this event. So before we start our webinar, let all of us recite Al-Fatihah to get blessing from Allah. Al-Fatihah. Okay. Now let me introduce our speaker today. So our speaker today is Dr. Nur Aslili binti Sarkam, Senior Lecturer from UTM University Technical Malaysia Melaka. So Dr. Nur Aslili got her diploma in statistics from UiTM in year 2007. She has Bachelor of Science honor in statistics and Master of Science in Applied Statistics also from UiTM. Her PhD in Statistics Management from Tohoku University, Japan in year 2018. Dr. Nur Aslili is very active in research and publication. So far, she has 29 publications and 9 innovations. So one of the publication is investigating the determinants of digital literacy among primary school teachers using structural equation modeling (SEM). She also has a few research grants. She supervised from diploma student until PhD student. She also review article for academic journals, national and international. So Dr. Nur Aslili also got several innovation awards, such as for Gold Award, Multipurpose Portal for Sterilization, Virtual Innovation and Design Farm, IDEX 2021. Also Gold Reward, another reward, which is Heat Stroke Sensor Device, VHSD, Virtual Research and Innovation Exhibition. So this is some of achievement of Dr. Aslili. So without further delay, I would like to hand over to our speaker. So please welcome Dr. Nur Aslili binti Sarkam.
Right, Assalamualaikum and good afternoon. Thank you, Nur Hafiza. Right, and a very good afternoon to Dr. Rosida, Dr. Ida, Dr. Nur Azlina. Right, to inviting me as a speaker for the CGCT. Alright, CGCT entitled is the bivariates analysis for the STA 404. Right, alright. Let me introduce myself. I'm Nur Aslili binti Sarkam, the statistic lecturer in Fakulti Teknologi, Pengurusan Teknologi and Teknohusahawanan, FPTP at UTM. Alright, so let me share the slide. Okay, nampak slide saya?
Yes.
Okay, alright. So untuk kita punya webinar ni santai-santai. Kalau siapa yang nak tanya soalan, dia just angkat tangan. Kalau tiba-tiba ada interrupt dekat tengah-tengah tu pun boleh juga Jangan rasa malu-malu dan segan untuk tanya. Alright. So kita boleh pergi kepada kita punya the next the topic is apa yang dibagi kat saya is the bivariate analysis is for the STA 404. Alright, so this is the for the correlation and regression actually. So we go to the first one. Alright, so this is the base one. Alright, yang kita kena tahu is the learning outcome and also the the learning outcome untuk kita punya study, alright, the topic, alright. So at the end of the topic, students should able to explain the concepts of correlation, alright. So here, and you can calculate the Pearson's correlation, right, and then you can interpret the result, alright. So you can determine the regression equation for a set of data, right, and then you can use the regression equation to make a forecast for value of independent variables. All right, so in the bivariate analysis, we can cover the introductions to a bivariate analysis. What is the bivariates? What is the types of relationship? All right, the second one is the correlation analysis, and the third one we go to the simple linear regression, and the last part is the prediction and forecasting. Okay, so we go for the first one. All right, so the definitions of the correlation, actually this one is the same with the diploma topic, is a correlation and regression. All right, so we go to the first one, is what is the correlation analysis. All right, so you know that the correlation, all right, the word of the correlation here is from the two variables. All right, so the relationship between the two variables. For example, is a male and female, is a correlate each other. Awak ada boyfriend and girlfriend lah. Mesti nak cari lelaki, mesti cari wanita. Wanita akan cari lelaki. Okay, so we correlate between two variables. All right, so here is the correlation, is the analysis of the statistical technique used to measure the relationship and the strength of the relationship between two variables, X and Y. All right, so X and Y is the variables between two. All right, we want to measure the relationship between X and Y. All right, so here look at the situation. We have the four example, we have the four situation here regarding to the relationship. All right, so the situation A, all right, so for the first one is the manager often want to seek a relationship between sales and profits. Alright, so manager nak tahu juga, adakah sales ni akan mencanak naik bila profit dia pun mencanak, ataupun satu going down, satu going up. Alright, dia ada hubungan tak antara dua? Okay, alright, situation B is the more time you spend running on the treadmill, the more calorie you will burn. Ni angan-angan Mak Jenny, you nak kurus lah ni kan, you nak tengok ada tak hubungan,
Okay. Alright, saya sambung balik Okay. Alright. Alright, kita masuk balik situation tadi. Alright, situations of the kita punya correlation tadi. Alright, correlation. Alright, situation B is the more time you spend running on the treadmill, the more calorie you will burn. Right, ni konsep of kalau you nak kurus tadi kan, konsep nak kurus kalau bulan puasa. You nak kurus, you nak tengok kalori you burn berapa kali hari ni. Hari ni tiba-tiba semua orang pergi brisk walk. Nak tengok ataupun nak tengok kat treadmill. Adakah brisk walk hari ini dia correlate ataupun dia ada hubungan dengan kalori yang terbakar untuk hari ini. Kadang-kadang you makan hari ni 4 gembus. Lepas tu you pergi treadmill. Ada tak dekat situ hubungan? Dia pergi brisk walk, lepas tu dia punya calorie burn dekat situ. Ada tak relationship, ada tak hubungan dekat situ untuk kita kurus kan? Alright, the third one is the situation C is when employees make a high salary, efficiency increase. Alright, kita tengok kat situ. Ini angan-angan juga kalau student bila dia graduate, dia nak tengok ada high salary, efficient tak dia punya kerja ke, efficient tak, ataupun paling senang dia punya study. Okay, untuk test STA 404, right, dengan dia punya time sleep ataupun time of study, dia ada hubungan tak antara situ untuk dia dapat STA 404A dekat situ. Okay, so the last situation dekat sini, as you drink more coffee, the number of hour you stay awake increases. Adakah number of coffee yang you ambil itu dia mempengaruhi dengan you punya hours you stay. Kalau nak tiba-tiba besok ada exam STA 404, you ambil lah kopi bergelen-gelen, berkilo-kilo dekat situ. Habislah satu-satu jenis you ambil untuk you nak increasekan number of stay awake you untuk STA 404 besok. Okay, contohnya dekat situ. Okay, so kita pergi di sini. Alright, so we have the two methods. Alright, the two methods to determine the correlation between the two variables. Alright, so we have the two. The first one is we call it as a scatter diagram. Or we can check, or we can identify, we can determine the correlation between the graphical method. And the second one is we use the Pearson product moment coefficients of the correlation. All right, this is a focus on the quantitative variables. All right, so there are two methods, or there are two methods to determine correlation between the two variables. All right, so look at for the first method. All right, the first method is about the scatter diagram. So what is a scatter diagram? We call it as a tools. All right, the scatter diagram is a tool for analyzing relationship between the two variables. All right, this is the graphical diagram. Just hanya satu gambaran untuk kita analysekan hubungan sama ada dia ada hubungan ataupun tidak. Itu adalah gambaran melalui figure, melalui scatter diagram. Alright, so one variable is plotted on the horizontal. This is how we create, is how we draw the scatter diagram. Alright, one variable is plotted on the horizontal axis, or we call it as the independent variable, and another is plotted on the vertical axis is the dependent variable. So nak senang cerita, kalau kita punya scatter diagram, kalau kita kena lukis, we have the x-axis and also the y-axis. Alright, so the x-axis is a horizontal axis and the y is the vertical axis, or independent versus dependent. All right, so the pattern on their intersection point can graphically show relationship pattern, and if the diagram does not show any pattern or randomly scattered, we can assume that the two variables do not have relationship between them. Okay, so basically kalau saya terangkan dekat student, alright, for the correlation, alright, selalunya correlation they're not compulsory to identify independent and dependent. But tajuk ni adalah bivariate analysis, dia adalah correlation and regression. Biasanya dalam soalan, kalau you tengok past year paper, regression, alright, nanti soalan dia akan tanya identify the independent and dependent variables. Barulah dia masukkan the calculation of R, what is the R square and so on. So that's why saya lebih suka ataupun gemar untuk explain ataupun minta student identify, kalau dapat soalan, identify which one independent and which one dependent. Because kalau ikutkan dia punya general untuk correlation, we don't need to identify which one dependent and dependent. Contohnya kalau you tengok dalam buku, kalau pakai statistical for UiTM, alright, dalam tu kalau correlation, dia ada satu soalan suruh identify ataupun draw a scatter diagram. Alright, dia suruh draw a scatter diagram, dia bagi soalan economic score versus and math score. Alright, so you tak nak boleh identify mana satu dependent, siapa yang bergantung pada siapa. Okay, siapa, adakah ekonomi punya ataupun subjek ekonomi, score untuk subjek ekonomi dengan maths score, adakah siapa yang bergantung dengan siapa? Dia susah kat situ. Alright kat situ. So that's why lah dalam correlation, dia boleh je kita tengok dekat kita punya buku, kalau dalam business, dekat statistik for UiTM tu, alright, dekat kita punya chapter 6, alright, topic 6, dia boleh lah economy score versus and math score. Dia boleh lah kita nak plottingkan dia kat situ. Alright, tetapi kalau ada soalan yang macam dalam past year paper, so nanti soalan yang pertama dia akan suruh identify the independent and dependent. So that's why kita lebih baik kita tahu, kita identify which one independent and which one the dependent. Alright, so kita masuk sikit kita punya independent and dependent variable. Independent. What is the independent and what is the dependent? Alright, so look at the independent variables. Alright, the independent variables is a factor, right? Independent variables of X, right? Independent variable is a X. It's a factor that can be varied or manipulated in an experiment. This is a one factor, all right? One factor that can vary or manipulated is an experiment. And it is usually what will affect the dependent variables. And for the dependent variable is what you measure, all right? What you measure in the experiment and what is affected during the experiment, all right? And the dependent variable respond to the independent variable, all right? The dependent variable itu sendiri, all right, dia bergantung kepada independent. Siapa yang bergantung kepada siapa? Contohnya sales and profit. Sales and advertising, alright? So siapa bergantung kepada siapa? Okay, dekat situ. Alright, so kalau kita tengok contoh di sini, this is a one example to identify the independent and dependent variable. So kita tengok dekat sini, dependent variable is the score. This is the STA 404 score. Alright, for the final. Alright, so you got A plus, A minus, A and so on. Alright, so dependent. And here in the independent variable is your time spent sleeping the night before a test. Alright. Berapa lama masa yang you ambil, you tidur untuk dapat A plus. Adakah just 3 hours, right, sleeping you punya time, you can get the A plus in the STA 404? Adakah 6 hours? Alright, sleeping time, you can get the A plus in the STA 404. Alright, siapa yang bergantung kepada siapa? Adakah test score STA 404 bergantung kepada the time spent you tidur ataupun time spent sleeping you bergantung kepada you punya score STA 404. Alright, so dekat sini. Alright, kena pastikan, kena tahu sebab ramai saya di tag selalu ada yang terbalik dekat sini. Kalau soalan dalam final ataupun soalan dalam test dia bagi SPSS output, for sure you can identify. Tapi ada juga yang tak boleh identify. For sure you can identify the independent variable and automatically you can identify the dependent variable. If the question only the statement, alright, and give a output. So you need to identify which one dependent and which one independent. Siapa bergantung kepada siapa? Siapa yang correlate dengan siapa? Alright, kat situ. Okay? So this is the independent and dependent. Alright. So for the scatter plot and its use. Alright. So this is the initial tools. Alright. Again, I repeat back. This is the initial tool to study the relationship between the two quantitative random variables. So means that you need to identify or you need to understand the assumption before you use the scatter plot, before you use the regression, before you use the bivariate analysis, the correlation and regression. So what is the assumption to use the scatter plot? What is the assumption to use the regression? Right, so you need to identify for the scatter plot or the regression, you need to have the two quantitative random variables. So berbalik-balik kepada chapter 1, the types of variable, the skills of measurement. So balik, apa itu? Siapa yang lupa untuk test, untuk final, apa itu quantitative variable? Apa itu the skills of measurement dalam quantitative? Alright, so kena tengok kat sini. Actually for the scatter plot, for the correlation and the regression, we have the assumption di mana kita menggunakan data continuous variable sahaja. Di mana dalam continuous variable, kita berbalik kepada chapter 1, for the skills of measurement, continuous variable is from the interval and ratio. So barulah boleh kita masukkan scatter plot. Nanti ada orang kata, tak boleh ke nak pakai untuk data ordinal? Alright, so kita punya Likert scale. Boleh, tetapi kita kena transform, kita buat ada satu prosedur, kena transform data kita to be a continuous variable. Right, so kena tahu kita punya correlation and regression must be continuous data. Alright, so indicate the degree of linear relationship between the two variables. If the points are widely scattered, then it indicates low correlation between the variables. And the less scattered are the point in the linear pattern, the higher in the degree of relationship. And it is also indicate whether the relationship is linear positive or linear negative. Alright, sebenarnya untuk dalam tajuk correlation, alright, the scatter plot, the first method to determine the relationship. So here we have the X and Y. Apa yang perlu kita identify? Kalau you buat scatter plot, you kena interpret kan? So kena interpret sama ada kita punya correlation is the positive. Alright, dia ada dua saja. Either positive or negative. Alright, so negative this side. Alright, so negative or positive sahaja dekat situ. Alright, so here. Alright, satu adalah positif, satu adalah negatif. Satu positif, satu negatif. Okay? Alright, so this is the example. Alright, so kalau dekat correlation dia tak perlu ada strong, weak semua. Dia hanya pergi ke positive linear correlation ataupun negative linear correlation, ataupun kita boleh tengok dia tak perlu ada weak, okay, ataupun dia jadi no linear relationship dekat situ. Okay, so dia tiga dekat situ. Right, the first one untuk scattered, dia ada positive correlation. The second one is the negative correlation. Dan last one is the no correlation. Okay, so no correlation. Okay. Ni correlation dia tak ada bentuk dekat sini. Okay, alright. So look at the first example here. Alright, so look at for the first example. I give you the two variables di mana we take a sample of 7 households from the low to moderate income, neighborhood, and collect information on their incomes and the food expenditure for the past month. So we have the income versus the food expenditure. So the first one, can you identify? Alright, can you identify siapa yang bergantung kepada siapa? Adakah income bergantung kepada food expenditure ataupun the food expenditure bergantung kepada income? Siapa boleh jawab? Ya, siapa boleh jawab? Siapa yang bergantung kepada siapa? Adakah income bergantung kepada food expenditure ataupun the food expenditure bergantung kepada income?
Food expenditure bergantung kepada income.
Food expenditure bergantung kepada income. So income kita adalah X ke Y? Dia bergantung-gantung tapi tak tahu siapa X, siapa Y.
Income X.
Income X. Dan kita punya food expenditure adalah Y. Alright, food expenditure adalah dependent variable and income is the independent variables. Okay, now dia suruh construct a scatter diagram. Kita tengok dekat sini, saya dah bagi dah jawapan siap-siap. Alright, so income kita adalah X ataupun X kita adalah income dekat sini. You need to write your information. Kalau variables X you dah ada dah, oh this is the income, you just put the income here. Alright, so here is a Y. Okay, so Y for the food expenditure. To get a marks here, you need to write the X as is, Y as is, and also the title. Okay, so you get the marks here. And then you plot your data. Alright, so okay, sekarang ni kita dah tengok dah kat sini. 35, 9. 49, 15. Alright, so dapat dah dekat sini kita buat kita punya scale. So dekat sini the first one adalah kita punya 35. So 35 dengan 9. 35 and 9 dekat sini, so dapat satu plotted dekat sini. And then kita plot another one. Kita plot another one. So kita dapat dekat sini. So bolehlah kita analyze ataupun kita write the result. Apa yang kita dapat? This is the positive. Kalau kita tengok dekat sini, oh this is a positive. Positive linear correlation. Kalau ini di general. Positive linear correlation between income and food expenditure. Right, so dapatlah kat sini. Okay, so this is the answer. So this is how we interpret kita punya scatter diagram. Alright, so the second one. Alright, the second one is we have the data annual advertising expenditure versus annual sales. Siapa bergantung kepada siapa? Advertising bergantung kepada sales ataupun sales bergantung kepada advertising. Okay, so dekat sini kita kena tentukan, alright, the first one we need to identify which one X, which one Y, which one independent and which one dependent. So barulah boleh kita lukiskan kita punya scatter diagram. Okay, so lukiskan the first one, kita identify kita siapa punya X, siapa kita punya Y. Alright, the second one, this is the first one. Second one, you draw your scatter diagram. The third one is you need to interpret either your interpretation is a positive correlation or negative correlation, alright, or no correlation. Okay, so ada 3 kat situ. There's 3 steps to identify kita punya correlation. Okay. Kita tak sempat untuk kita buat example, nanti takut lama nak habiskan. Okay. So kalau nanti saya akan bagi slide untuk kalau you nak buat ataupun nak share punya, nak tengok punya saya punya slide. Alright. So kita pergi kepada the next one. Alright, the correlation here. Alright, ini adalah kita punya the second one. Correlation analysis is the used to measure, alright, it's used to measure the strengths of the relationship between the two variables. Di mana kita nak measure the strength and directions of the linear relationship between a pair of random variables. Alright, so we measure the coefficients of the correlation ataupun kita panggil rho, di mana rho kita is between -1 to 1. So identify kita punya relationship to identify the value of kita punya R dekat situ. Nanti kita buat calculation dekat situ. So dia punya threshold ataupun dia punya cut off point mesti di antara -1 dan 1. And the sample estimate for rho is donated by R. So kita nak identify kita punya value dekat sini. So we need to calculate the value of R. Di mana calculate the sample coefficients of correlation. And the types of coefficient is suitable is determined by the measurement scales. Again, yang saya cakap, the assumptions of correlation and regression must be continuous data. Alright, so nak kira juga kita kena tengok dia sama ada the ratio ataupun interval. Alright, to identify kita punya the strengths of the correlation, ni table yang sangat penting. Kalau siapa lupa, print out table, tepek dekat dahi ataupun print out, tampallah dekat rumah sewa you, tampallah dekat dahi kawan, boleh tengok dekat situ. Alright, ni akan tiba-tiba kat sini akan terjadinya salah faham dekat situ, adakah strong, adakah perfect, adakah moderate. Okay, so kalau kita tengok table of the strength kat sini yang saya sediakan, alright, so R, kalau kita calculate the R equal to 1 ataupun kita dah run SPSS dapat the R is equal to 1. So the strength for the R equal to 1 is the perfect. Okay, kalau kita punya R value is 0.8 is to the 0.99, we can identify the correlation is a strong. Alright. If the value is 0.5 to 0.79 is a moderate, and 0.49 is a weak, and when R is equal to 0, this is the no linear correlation. Okay, so sama juga kita tengok kita punya rho is between -1 to 1. Alright, so when interpreting the value, of the correlation, apa yang perlu ada kalau kita nak interpret the value of R. Okay, so kita kena tengok the strength and the directions of the correlation must be stated. Paling penting kita kena tentukan strength, the group of strength, and the second one the group of the direction dekat situ. Okay, so kita tengok example dekat sini, how to interpret the value of R. Okay, you dah dapat dah, you runkan ataupun you calculate. So for example, if R equal to 0, alamak saya lupa, ni saya kata pergilah tampal dekat dahi ke tampal dekat rumah sewa. So when R equal to 0, so you need to remember, so how to interpret the value, they're starting with the strength and followed by the direction. Alright, kita tengok strength kita dulu. R equal to 0 is a non-linear correlation. So how to interpret if the R equal to 0? There is no linear relationship between X and Y. Kalau you dah tahu dah you punya X and Y dekat sini, contohnya income dengan apa tadi? Okay, tadi you kena letaklah between income and the expenditure. Income and sales, income and spending kita. Alright, so kena tahulah kat sini X and Y. Kalau kita dah tahu kita punya X and Y, you kena identify. Okay, the second one, if R equal to 1, so tengok balik, ingat balik macam mana nak interpret. Oh, nak interpret kita punya R value starting daripada kita punya strength, followed by kita punya direction. Okay, so kita tengok kita punya strength, if R equal to 1, since this is a perfect. So how to interpret? Starting daripada strength, there is a perfect. Kita nak tengok direction dekat mana? Dekat depan ni, dekat numbers kat sini, dia adakah dia positif ataupun negatif? Kalau positif, perfect positif. Okay, kalau dia negatif, perfect negative. So there is a perfect positive linear relationship between X and Y. Okay, so this is the how to interpret. Okay, the next one. If R equal to 0.83, so 0.83, remember that the first one is a strength. So tengok balik 0.83 dekat mana? Strong. So either the positive or negative? Positive. So how to interpret? There is strong positive linear relationship between X and Y. Okay, so the next one, R equal to negative 0.61. Kita punya strength 0.61. Kalau kita tengok dekat sini, 0.61 is the moderate, the group of the moderate, and the direction is a negative. So there is a moderate negative. The last one is the negative 0.23. Sama juga 0.23 in the group of the weak. Alright, between a 0 to 0.49 is a weak. So weak, negative or positive, tengok dia punya direction. Okay, direction is a negative, so there is a weak negative. Okay, so the weak negative. Okay, so the last one, R is equal to negative 0.5. Right, so how to interpret when R is equal to negative 0.5. The first one, you need to check the value. This is a 0.5. Tengok balik dekat you punya table. 0.5 is a moderate. And then followed by the direction here. This is a negative. There is a weak, there is a moderate negative linear relationship between X and Y. Okay, so this is how to interpret the value of R. Right? So macam mana kita dapat the value of R tu? Tu adalah the second method to determine the correlation, di mana R kita adalah dipanggil sebagai Pearson Product Moment Coefficients of Correlation, R kat situ. Okay, so here. So Pearson's Product Moment Coefficients of Correlation kita guna untuk apa? Measure the relationship between two variables again and again. The assumption to use the regression correlation must be quantitative or data must be continuous, and also the strength or degree of correlation. Di mana tadi kan saya dah tunjukkan how to interpret the value of R. Kalau you run dekat SPSS dapatlah nilai R. So this is the Pearson's product moment coefficient. Tadi yang R tadi. Alright, so ni R tadi. Okay, so kita belajar interpretation dulu, barulah kita masuk how to calculate by using the formula. Okay, sama juga dia kena tahu dia punya strength of the correlation, kita followed by kita punya direction kat situ. Okay, so the strengths of a correlation can either be perfectly correlated, strongly correlated, moderately correlated, weakly correlated, no correlated. Dia ada kat situ. Yang tadi kita interpret tadi. Okay. So this is the formula. So how we calculate the value of R. How we calculate the Pearson's product moment coefficients of correlation. Don't worry about the formula. So this is ada dekat kita punya appendix also, tapi you kena tahulah how we use the R. Okay, kalau masuk dalam calculator pun boleh, kita akan dapat dalam value of R dekat calculator. Tapi sama juga konsep, you need to know kat mana kita nak dudukkan benda ni, sebab every single value dalam ni semua ada markah walaupun you pakai calculator untuk dapatkan value of R. Okay. Kita tengok formula kita, the value of R, macam mana nak dapat the value of R. So R is equal to summation of xy minus summation of x times summation of y divided by n, and then the whole thing divided by the group of x. This is the group of x. And this is the group of y. Di mana the group of x, alright, divided by the square root of, alright, kita ada square root of the group of x, di mana the group of x is a summation of x square minus summation of x square x to power of 2. Bukan kita x square kan dia, right, summation of x and then to power of 2 divide by n, and then times with the group of y, di mana the group of y we have the summation of y square minus summation of x to power of 2 divide by n. Okay, so kena tahu kat sini. Sebab kenapa kena tahu kat sini, bila you masukkan dalam calculator, when you substitute the value, value of summation of xy apa, summation of x apa, summation of y apa, so dia tak tahu dekat situ. Ataupun dia banyak salah dekat kesalahan yang kecil dekat sini. Dia kecil-kecil cili api, tapi dia akan besar markah dekat situ, dia akan deduct. Di mana kalau you salah identify question number 1, salah identify x and y, so dia akan jadi effect the value of R you dekat situ. Okay, dekat situ, kat sini. Okay, walaupun R sama, nanti effect yang lain. Effect you punya correlation, the regression equation, dan dia punya forecast value, semua dia akan effect dekat situ. Okay, alright. The above formula can be written as, siapa yang tak nak pakai yang tadi, dia nak ingat satu persatu, the group of x, the group of y, the group of xy. Ini adalah sama sahaja konsep dengan kita punya calculation yang tadi. Okay. Alright. Kita tengok example the first one. Alright. Kita tengok example yang pertama. Okay, so this is a refer to exercise 1 yang tadi kita suruh buat scatter diagram yang kita dah lukis tadi, yang saya dah tunjuk tadi example. So we need to compute the Pearson's coefficients of correlation, and also you need to interpret the result. Right, so apa yang perlu kita ada dekat sini adalah the informations of setiap satu dalam formula, summation of x, summation of x square, summation of y square, summation of xy, and this is the additional, right? So you boleh calculate the value of R, so dapat terus. Alright, so kita tengok balik formula kita, you need to identify dulu dia punya information. So kita dah tahu dah tadi, this is a x, then this is a y. By using the calculator, saya aja senang saja pakai calculator. Siapa yang tak tahu pakai calculator yang baru, alright, so apa yang perlu kita buat adalah you press you punya menu. Alright, press menu you. Okay, so pergi ke menu, and then pergi menu, and then pergi number 6. Okay, so dapatlah number 6 kata. Number 6, and then dia akan keluar statistic. Okay, so this is the step how we use the calculator. So dia keluar statistik. Alright, bila you tekan statistik and then you tengokkan kat situ, dia akan keluar apa kat situ, y equal to a plus bx. Kita ada dua variable sahaja dekat situ. Okay, tekan, press yang ni. Okay, press yang ni and then barulah masukkan kita punya nilai x, barulah masuk nilai y kita di situ. Okay, saya bagi 2 minutes untuk you key in you punya data dekat sini and then tolong saya list down your punya value of summation of x, summation of x square dan seterusnya dekat sini. Baru kita calculate dekat situ. 2 minit daripada sekarang. Okay, siap? Siapa yang boleh tunjukkan saya jawapan? Can you share the answer? Just write in the chat box. Nanti saya tengokkan. Ataupun saya pick as a random to answer my question. Which one you prefer? Nak orang saya pick as a random to answer my question ataupun volunteer to answer the question? Okay, cepat. Saya bagi 6 second before I pick as a random to answer my question. Six, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Syafiqah Syamimi Syafiqah. Terhilang. Saya lupa panggil. Baru nak pin dia. Lepas tu saya hilang. Hadif Muhammad Hadif. Can you share your answer? So what is the value for the summation of x? What is the value for the summation of x square? Cepat saya tulis dekat sini. Summation of x is equal to summation of x square, summation of y. Cepat. Janganlah tidur petang ni.
Wait Doktor.
Summation of x is a 2, 1, 2. Summation x square is a 7, 2. Summation of y. Summation of y square. Summation of xy. Summation of y is a 64. Summation of y square. 646. Kawan yang lain mana kesian dia, tak ada tahan hayat pun. Korang ni menganiaya dia je. XY is a 2150. Okay. So N kita 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So N is equal to 7. Kalau you tengok dalam calculator tu, the new calculator, dia boleh dapatkan nilai R kat situ. Yang old calculator pun, calculator yang lama, mana calculator lama saya? Calculator lama ni pun boleh juga dapat. Tapi dia kena kira manually lah kat sini kan. So dia masuk satu-satu. Okay. Siapa yang guna calculator? Siapa guna calculator yang lama ni, nanti saya akan bagi guideline dekat dalam slide saya macam mana nak guna calculator lama. Saya tahu ada je dalam kelas tu nanti dia kata, doktor saya pakai calculator lama macam mana. Lepas tu kesian dekat ni. Saya perlu beli calculator baru ke dah buka Shopee? Time tu juga dia buka Shopee. Saya kena pakai SP letter yang berapa bulan nak beli kalkulator baru. Tak perlu, boleh guna kalkulator ni. Janganlah paksa diri. Dia bukan satu masalah yang berat untuk you calculate untuk statistik. Dua. Saya kalau dalam kelas dua-dua saya bawa. Saya akan tunjuk yang ni, saya akan tunjuk ni. Sebab yang ni dia advance sikit, orang akan tahu semua. Kalau yang ni dia ambil masa untuk run ataupun masukkan satu per satu. Okey, kita masukkan dalam, kita berbalik pada kita punya ni. Masuk balik dalam you punya equation ataupun kita punya formula. So R equal to, tengok balik formula to get the answer ataupun to get the value, to get the marks here. Sama ada kalau kat sini saya tahu tanya balik you punya lecturer, sama ada you identify yang ni. Alright, setahu saya you walaupun identify yang ni you kena masukkan dalam equation. So R equal to is a 2150 minus summation of X is a 212 times summation of Y is the 64 divided by, siapa lupa buka balik formula. Alright, ada bahagi dekat situ. Alright, so dia ada bahagi dekat situ. Okay, so dia bahagi dekat sini tertinggal. Berbahagi dengan kita punya 7. So bahagi dengan square root of the group of X dekat sini. X square is 7222 minus summation of X 212 square. Dekat sini square, bukannya kuasa 2 terus kat sini. Bahagi dengan 7. So dekat sini the group of Y, masukkan the group of Y dekat sini. Barulah R equal to, berapa R yang you dapat dalam calculator. Jangan nak bazirkan masa you all, bila you dah masukkan dalam you punya calculator, you dah identify you punya value of summation yang tadi, you dah masukkan dalam you punya equation, you pergilah tengok dekat you punya calculator. Saya selalu pesan dekat student saya, rajinnya you dalam masukkan yang ni, terbalik. Lepas tu masuk pula dalam equation, pergi pula run satu-satu. Okay? Lepas tu dah dapat pula jawapan kat sini salah. Aduh, rugi markah dekat situ. Walhal, bila you masuk dalam calculator, so the last answer for R, pergi dekat calculator, dapatkan value R. Masukkan, dapat berapa kelas dekat dalam tu? R dapat berapa? Kan kita masuk dalam calculator, kita pergi dekat situ, option, kan? Bila kita masukkan kita punya value, kita boleh pergi option kan dekat situ. So masukkanlah kita punya tu. Tadi kita tengok variable calculation kita. Okay, and then kita masuk pula kita punya regression calculation dekat number 3. Regression calculation, kalau you pergi dekat sini, alright, so regression calculation nampak ke situ? Tu regression calculation, tekan number 3, dapatlah nilai R. Dekat situ ada nilai A, dia ada nilai B, nilai R, so masukkan value dekat sini. Berapa nilai R yang you dapat? Ada siapa yang tercicir lagi kat situ? Okey, satu lagi tips dekat situ, tak tahulah you rasa you dah masuk dah tajuk ni ke belum. Kalau you punya ni calculator ada keluar X, Y frekuensi. Nanti ada orang juga, macam mana saya nak offkan frekuensi saya? Nanti dia keluar kat situ. Macam mana saya nak off saya punya frekuensi? You pergi dekat shift menu and then you turun kat bawah, dapat nombor 3, statistik, and then you offkan dekat situ. Baru dah hilang dekat situ. Okay? Kalau siapa nak keluarkan, nanti kan dekat kalkulator dia akan keluar macam ni. Dia keluar X, dia keluar Y, dia keluar frekuensi. You offkanlah dulu you punya frekuensi ni, barulah you masukkan you punya regression tadi yang Y equal to A plus BX, baru masukkan nilai X and Y untuk yang atas tadi. Okay, so the first one. Okay, bila you dah masukkan tadi, barulah you dapat nilai R. Berapa nilai R? Sambil-sambil saya cakap ni, mana nilai R? Berapa R yang kita dapat? Berapa? Tak ada orang nak jawab nilai R. R sama dengan? R is equal to 0.9587. Okay. So pergi dekat mana? Bila you terdapat tadi kan you tekan option. Alright. Kalau tekan option number 3 dia akan keluar yang tadi. Yang summation of Y, summation of kat situ semua. Kalau you tekan option, di mana option dia akan keluar, mesti keluar two variable calculation untuk to get the answer for the summation of Y, summation of Y square kat situ. Kalau kita nak cari atau to find the value of R, you pergi dekat regression calculation. Regression calculation, kalau saya kat calculator saya, dia number 4. So just press number 4, dia akan keluar nilai A, nilai B dan nilai R. Alright, is it clear? You follow? Ada soalan dekat situ untuk pakai calculator to get the answer, to get the value for the variables? Boleh? Okay. Alright. So here. Kita tengok example number 2. Saya tak nak pergi terus satu sahaja tadi. Nanti lambat pergi the next one. Alright. So this is a refer to the exercise number 2. Alright. You need to compute the coefficient of the correlation. Pearson coefficients of the correlation. Kalau you jumpa the words of the Pearson coefficients of the correlation, means that you need to calculate the value of R. So for sure, alright, automatically when you calculate the Pearson's coefficient of the correlation, automatically you need to interpret the result. Okay, so here, this is the R, you need to find the value of XY, the value of X, the value of Y, X square, Y square, the value of N, and so on. Alright, so just masuk dalam calculator. The important part is you need to identify which one X, which one Y. Which one dependent and which one independent. Siapa bergantung kepada siapa. So baru boleh kita masukkan dalam calculator for the calculation. Okay. Alright, the next one here. Alright, the next one we go to the regression analysis. Before we go to the regression analysis, I just recall back. We have the two methods to determine the correlations of the correlation between the two variables. Okay, saya ingatkan kembali. We have the two methods. The first one is the scatter diagram. Alright, dalam scatter diagram, we need to draw a scatter diagram, the graphical technique to identify scatter diagram, either the positive correlation or negative correlation. Alright, two. Alright, so we need to identify, this is not compulsory, nanti ada satu keyword ataupun dia keluar dekat track, dia keluar dekat TT. Alright, this is not compulsory for the scatter diagram to identify X and Y, but saya suka compulsorykan benda ni sebab nanti bila kita masuk dalam tajuk regression, we need to identify the X and Y. So macam saya bagi contoh tadi, kita nak identify the correlation between math score versus the finance score, math score versus the statistics score. So kita nak tahu mana satu X and Y, dia susah kat situ. This is not compulsory. Kita boleh identify this is a positive relationship ataupun positive correlation or negative correlation. Okay, so here. Right, kena lukis kat sini. So kena lukis macam mana nak dapat dot plot dekat situ, tu adalah data kita. Okay, data X versus Y. The second method to determine the correlation between the two variables by using the Pearson correlation. Alright, Pearson correlation, coefficients of the correlation, the Pearson. Right, kalau second method, nama dia Pearson, dia automatically you need to use the equation, alright, the formula for the R, where the R is a summation of xy minus summation of x times summation of y divided by n, the whole thing divided by the square root of the group of x, right, the group of x, and times the group of y here, right, so here. So divided by n. So this is how to get how to calculate the value of R. Then when you calculate the value of R, you need to interpret how you need to interpret the value of R. So you need to remember that how to interpret the value of R is starting with the strength, right? You need to identify the strengths of the value, right? Either the perfect, moderate, and so on, and then followed by direction. Okay, so this is the summary for the two methods to determine the correlation between two variables. Okay, now, so now we go to the next one is the regression analysis. All right, so the regression analysis. Actually, in the regression, all right, the word of the regression, we have the types of regression, a lot of regression. Okay, so the first one is a linear regression, polynomial regression, supported vector regression, multiple linear regression, ridge regression, random, lasso, and so on. Okay, ada banyak dekat situ. Kadang-kadang you kata, saya macam dah dengar linear regression dengan multiple linear regression lah. This is a part of the regression, the type of regression. Biasanya orang akan guna linear regression, multiple regression. Alright, itu untuk stage U. Okay, so tapi dalam regression kalau sebut regression, nanti kalau you punya masa FYP, so you gunakan the methods of the regression. Nanti panel tanya, so what is the regression yang you guna? Alright, regression. Saya guna regression lah. Tapi yelah, regression apa? Linear regression, simple linear regression, multiple linear regression. So kena identify dekat sini. Alright, so banyak dekat situ. Okay, so this is another part, alright, kita punya types of regression. Okay, so what is a regression here, right? So regression, alright, regrade dekat situ. So the regression model, alright, regression model di mana kita kena tahu ataupun identify model, response versus and the explanatory variables. Alright, so dalam kita punya bivariate data point, right, kita kena identify kita punya model response and explanatory variable, and also we have the equation. Kita ada satu equation ataupun kita ada satu model di mana y equal to, kalau you tengok standard, y equal to a plus bx. Tak payah tengok standard lah, dalam calculator you ada tadi. Alright, y equal to a plus bx. Right, so what is a y, what is a, what is b, what is x, what is e. Alright, so kena tahu benda-benda tu. Okay, so the regression analysis is one of the statistical technique. Alright, so this is a statistical technique. This is not a statistical tools. This is the statistical technique that can be used to obtain the equation relating to the two variables. Okay, so regression dekat sini. So this is the equation yang saya cakap tadi. So y equal to alpha plus beta xy plus error term, di mana y is called the response variables, alpha is the intercept parameter, ataupun ada orang guna alpha, ada orang guna a, ada orang guna b, ada orang guna beta. Right, so tetapi tak kisahlah you nak guna apa, you kena tahu the meaning of the keyword yang you guna tu. Okay, so kalau kat sini, kalau tengok equation dekat sini, alpha is the intercept parameter, beta is the slope parameter, alright, and the xi is the explanatory variables ataupun dipanggil lain sebagai x, Alright, and the E kat bujung bawah ni, the small E is the error term ataupun error variables dekat situ. Okay? Alright. So, alright, based on the books from the statistic in UiTM, statistic for UiTM, kita boleh tengok dekat kita punya, kalau the new books, alright, untuk regression dekat situ, page 144, 140, alright, daripada 135, kat situ kita tengok kita punya regression. Okay, so here a regression model is a mathematical equation. Kalau dia kata regression model, of course you can ada mathematical equation that describe the relationship. Kita nak describe relationship kita based on the regression model. Okay, describe the relationship between two or more variables. Macam saya cakap tadi, right? Kalau dia simple regression model, includes only two variables. Okay, kalau dia simple regression, okay, dia simple linear regression, SLR. Alright, dia hanya only we have the two variables. Okay, di mana kita ada Y dan kita ada X. We have the Y, we have the dependent and we have the independent. Contoh macam kat correlation tadi. Okay, so we call it as a simple linear regression. Okay, only two variables, one dependent and also one dependent, independent and dependent. If we have more than two variables, alright, more than two variables, dia akan panggil sebagai multiple linear regression. Kalau dia ada independent ataupun the X dia adalah more than two variables. So dia akan jadi equation jadi apa? Y equal to A plus B, X1 plus B, X2 plus. Tengoklah macam mana gaya you letak mathematical equation dekat situ. Okay? Alright. So this is kita punya, kalau kita punya diagram, alright, kita punya figure dekat situ. This is the x-axis, y-axis and kita plotted. And then the straight line dekat sini yang hijau ni adalah daripada mathematical equation kita tadi. Alright, the y equal to a plus bx tadi. Okay, so kita plotted dekat sini. Alright, so this is the regression line yang sama yang saya tunjuk tadi. Ini adalah cara-cara, adalah nanti saya cakap tak ada salah pun you nak tulis. Ikutlah you tulis apa, yang pastinya you kena identify the keyword ni adalah identify apa. Nanti tiba-tiba biasa, saya benda tu biasa sangat dalam test, dalam final dia akan keluar. Tapi madam saya keluarkan A besar, tapi ni saya punya slope. It's okay. You apa benda, tapi slope saya dekat sini. Okay, it's okay. Apa-apa yang you tulis, janji you faham, you identify, you kena letak dia punya keyword dekat sini. What is your capital A? Oh, capital A is an intercept. What is a B? Capital B. Oh, capital B is a represent for the slope. So kena tahu dekat situ apa yang you tulis. Okay? So here kita tengok dekat equation dekat sini, y equal to capital A plus bx plus error term. So capital A is an intercept and the capital B is the slope. Okay? So every single keyword ataupun apa yang you tulis dekat situ, you need to identify, you need to interpret every single. So Y macam mana, B apa, A apa, lepas tu kena interpret. Okay, so kalau kita nak interpret kita punya, kat sini saya dah bagi tahulah, kat sini siap-siap. Untuk interpret kita punya slope dekat sini is a change in the mean of the distributions of the response produced by a unit change in X. Alright, berapa unit naik dekat X, berapa unit turun dekat Y, berapa unit naik dekat X, berapa unit naik dekat Y. So ni adalah kita punya slope dekat sini. Okay, so this is the assumptions of regression model. Sama juga tadi saya dah sebut, dah ulang dan ulang. We need to understand, we need to know the assumptions of the correlation and regression. Sama juga tadi. Right, kita kena tahu the random error term has a mean equal to 0 for each X. The error associated with the different observation are independent. For any given X, the distributions of error is normal. Then the important part is you need to identify, you need to know. Alright, so the data, by using the regression data yang guna dalam regression must be continuous. Okay, data mesti continuous data. Okay, interval ataupun ratio. Tak salah kan saya cakap tadi, tak salah kalau orang pakai ordinal, tapi dia ada prosedur lain, dia kena transform kepada akhir sekali dia akan kena jadi continuous data. Okay? Okay, dalam regression sebelum kita nak dapatkan satu equation, alright, kita kena masuk dalam kita punya least square regression line. Mana least square regression line? Ini kita nak buat regression line tadi. Okay, nak dapatkan regression line, we need to identify, we need to calculate ataupun dalam soalan final to by using the least square method. Alright, write the equation macam tu, ayat dekat situ. Okay, boleh tengok balik you punya past year, balik you punya past test. Okay, dia ada satu perkataan by using the least square method. Alright, ataupun write down the equation model. Alright, use the least square method. Macam itulah dia akan pusing-pusing ayat dekat situ. Okay, so the least square regression line di mana adalah method. Alright, ini adalah satu method yang digunakan, can be used to draw a straight line. Tadi kan you dah lukiskan you punya scatter diagram. Alright, by using the least square method to identify ataupun to draw a straight line that minimize the sum of squared differences between the point at the line. Okay, in the models y equal to a plus bx and a and b which are calculated using the sample data are called the estimate of a and b. Okay, so ni adalah kita punya model. And then a regression line can be used to make predictions for the dependent variables. Bila kita gunakan, kita dah ada scatter diagram. Alright, kita nak identify kita punya ni least square regression line, kita kena guna kita punya least square method. To identify kita punya line dekat sini, saya ulang sekali lagi, kita menggunakan least square regression line ni, least square method. Untuk dapat regression line dekat sini, kita identify kita punya A dan identify kita punya B. Okay, bila kita dah dapat satu equation, for example y equal to a plus bx, boleh the next one kita nak buat prediction terhadap kita punya y dekat sini. Okay, alright. So untuk kita identify kita punya regression equation, alright, regression equation by using kita punya least square method. Ni benda yang sama lah. Alright, kita keluarkan kejap equation ni, kejap equation capital A, kejap alpha. Okay, benda yang sama, saya ulang. Benda tu sama tapi you kena identify ataupun you kena understand what is the meaning of the A, what is the meaning for the B, capital A ke alpha ke tak kisah, you kena understand the definitions apa yang you tulis tu. Okay? Alright. By using the least square regression, alright, the least square regression line, you nak draw a line ni, okay? So you kena menggunakan satu formula, alamak formula lagi, alright, tak salah saya ni ada juga dalam appendix, kalau tak salah saya, kalau salah betulkan ya, alright, dalam appendix you, okay? Saya takut saya tak perasan, okay. So this is the least square methods, alright. You need to use this equation to calculate the value of B and calculate the value of A. Alright, dia starting, dia akan terbalik dulu. Kalau you tengok dekat sini is a y equal to A plus BX, alright. Nanti ada orang argue dekat sini, madam dia bermula dengan A, kenapa nak kena calculate B? Kalau you perasan formula untuk B and A, okay. Kalau you tengok dekat sini, formula untuk A kita perasan tak? Dia kena ada value of B dekat sini. So that's why dia kena terbalik dekat sini, dia kena calculate dulu kita punya the value of B. Okay. So how to calculate the B here? Alright, how to calculate the B here? By using the summation of xy minus summation of x times summation of y divided by n, the whole thing divided by group of x. Dia tak ada. Kalau you perasan tadi dengan you punya Pearson. Kalau Pearson di bawahnya adalah square root of the group of x, the group of y. Kalau dekat nilai B, dekat least square method, to find the value of B, dia macam lebih kurang je dekat situ untuk calculate nilai B. Okay. So tengok dekat sini dia tak ada pun kat sini. Tak ada pun Y, tak ada square root ni tak ada. Dia just yang ni sahaja. Dia tinggallah atas tu yang X and Y. Bawah dia adalah the group of X tadi. Okay, kalau siapa yang rasa nak pakai the square root, sum of square kat sini pun boleh, ataupun dia nak pakai yang the second one pun boleh juga. Dia tak ada masalah. Right, depends on you kalau you under your understanding, right? Dia pakai satu ke dua, it's up to you. Okay, so kalau kita tengok kat sini dah, bila kita calculate the value of B dekat sini, barulah boleh bawa the value of B dalam calculation of A. Alright, intercept kita. Where the intersection kat sini, the formula for the intercept is the A is equal to summation of Y. Kalau you perasan dekat sini, dari tadi kalau you perasan dekat sini, chapter awal-awal, alright, summation of Y divided by N ni adalah sama dengan nilai min. Alright, ataupun the summation of, ataupun the Y, tak ada summation, Y ada kepala kat atas tu, Y hat minus beta X, Y bar minus B X bar. Alright, so the min dekat sini. Okay, salah sebut nanti. So kita ada min dekat sini, alright. So min untuk Y tolak dengan the value of slope, darabkan dengan min untuk X, dapatlah nilai A. Barulah bila kita dah calculate the least square regression line untuk B and A, so barulah kita masukkan dalam equation kita. Yang ni, the last part. Kita calculate nilai B, kita calculate nilai A, and then baru masuk dalam equation Y equal to A plus BX. Okay? Okay. Next, we look at the example, the same example 1 tadi, alright, yang income tadi, alright. Bila kita dah masuk dalam least square, alright, so here. Ni data yang tadi, kita dah masuk yang tadi, yang you dah masuk one summation of Y and then so on. You masukkan dalam calculator tadi, alright, dalam calculator ni tadi, kan kata the regression calculation, dia akan keluar nilai A, dia akan keluar nilai B. Right, so kita boleh tengok balik, kita boleh prove that the value of A and B kita betul ataupun tidak. Okay, so sama juga konsep dia nak dapat markah, you masuklah nilai B sama dengan summation of XY yang tadi. You dah masukkan summation of XY is a 2150 minus dengan summation of X berapa tadi ya? Kalau tengok dekat summation of X is a 212. Right, darab dengan summation of Y is a 64 divided by 7 divided by summation of X square is a 7222 minus dengan summation of X is 212 divided by 2 divided by 7. So tengoklah, kalau dalam you punya calculator terus dapat, dia tak payahlah calculate manually, masuk je value dan dia dapat nilai B kat sini is a 0.264. Okay, so when you get the value of A and then value of B masuk dalam formula untuk A kita, right, summation of Y is a 64 divided by 7 minus 0.364 times the summation of X kita tadi, right, tadi adalah Y and then X kita adalah 212 divided by 7, so masuk dalam calculator kita, so we get the 1.1414. So dapatlah value dekat sini 2. So bila kita dah dapat the value of X, the value of B, value of A, barulah masukkan dalam equation di sini. Okay? So Y is equal to 1.1414 plus 0.264. Jangan lupa we have the independent X. Okay? So masuk equation, dapat markah dekat sini. Okay? Alright, jelas dekat sini? Alright, so this is how we calculate the least square method, alright, to kita nak draw kita punya regression line. Alright, so when we have the equation, when you calculate, after you calculate the value of B, after you calculate the value of A, you need to interpret. Ini kata, kalau ada equation, you need to interpret what is the value of A, what is the value of B. So how we interpret, ni ada biasanya dalam soalan test, soalan final. Alright, selalunya dia akan the famous one, you need to interpret the value of slope. Slope. Tapi you need to careful kalau tiba-tiba next this semester ke dia kata interpret the value of A. Right, so how to interpret the value of A? Right, consider the household with zero income. For example, no income, X equal to 0, and then you substitute the value of X equal to 0 into your equation. Alright, and then you get the 1.1414. Remember that, alright. So kalau tengok dalam data ni, dia bagi dia punya keyword is RM00, is mean that your data is the 35,3500. 4900. Dia ada 00 the keyword dekat atas tu. Dia bukan 3549. Okay. So kalau you dah dapat dah is a 1.1414. This is a 20 here. So kena bawa lah kat sini. Alright, 1, 2. So we get the 114.14. Alright. So this is a for A. So how to interpret the value? We can state that household with no income is expected to spend RM114.14 per month on food expenditure. Ini kalau macam mana kita nak interpret the value of A. Biasanya interpret the value of intercept. Okay, dia mesti X sama dengan 0. Okay, so this is the interpretation. Okay, jangan tinggalkan sayang walaupun dia 1 markah. You tolonglah cuba interpret you punya value of A and value of F of B. Okay. Alright, the next one, we interpret the value of B. We interpret the value of slope. So how to interpret the value of slope? Okay. So the value of slope here, the value of B in the regression model give the change in Y due to change of 1 unit in X. Alright, 1 unit berlaku ataupun berubah ataupun dia ada peningkatan ataupun penurunan dekat situ, dia akan berubah dekat Y. Okay, for example here, this is our equation. Alright, kita punya equation tadi, you need to identify your B. This is your B, the slope. Okay, so B is equal to 0.264. Is mean that, alright, on average, okay, on average RM1 ringgit. So this one is a depend on your punya data. Kalau data you bermula dengan is a RM1 ringgit, is RM100, alright, so 1 unit, tengok unit dia apa. Dia bagi unit sen ke, dia bagi unit RM ke, dia unit juta ke, tengok unit dia. Okay, so on average RM1 ringgit increase. Okay, 1 unit increase dekat X. Okay, 1 unit increase in income. 1 unit increase dekat mana? Of a household will increase the food expenditure by RM0.2642. Okay, so this is 1 unit increase dekat X, 1 unit increase dekat ataupun berapa unit increase dekat Y. Alright, berapa unit increase dekat Y adalah bergantung kepada kita punya calculation the value of B tadi. Okay, kalau contoh kat sini. Selain tu, ni dia pakai 1 ringgit increase. Alright, dia punya calculation ataupun congak dia adalah 1 unit dia adalah increase. Alright, increase dekat X. Alright, dia akan increase dekat Y. Right, ataupun dia akan jadi decrease. Sama ada dia increase ataupun decrease kat Y. Nanti ada orang tanya macam mana nak tahu dia increase ke decrease. Okay, tengok dekat you punya equation here. Alright. So this is the value, tengok dia punya direction dekat sini, either positive or negative. Kalau dia negative, dia akan jadi decrease dekat Y. Kalau dia punya direction dan positive, dia akan jadi increase dekat Y. Okay, 1 unit increase, contoh. Okay, kita ada contoh satu lagi. Y equal to 1.14, 14 minus 0.264x. So how to interpret the value of B? Okay, so negative. So dia akan jadi B equal to negative 0.264. Indicates that ataupun state that on average RM 1 ringgit increase in income of a household will decrease the food expenditure by RM 0.2642. Okay, kenapa dia jadi decrease? Sebab dia punya sign dekat sini negatif. Okay, alright. Ada soalan dekat situ? Setakat ni ada soalan? You have any question? You have ada soalan ataupun you confused dekat situ? Alright, how to interpret the value of A, how to interpret the value of B, is it clear? Alright? Ataupun tidur masing-masing. Okay, so kena tengok dekat situ. Alright. So the next one here, alright, is the prediction. Alright, the prediction after you calculate the value of A, B, after you get the equations of your regression. And then after you calculate, after you interpret the value of A and B, alright, so you can, the last part, you can make a prediction. Okay, so a regression line can be used to make prediction for the dependent variable. For example, we use the same example is the example 1 here, right? Using the equations of the regression line found in the example 1. Predict the value of food expenditure whose monthly income is RM3800. Okay, ni ada selalu orang walaupun dia rasa dia dah faham, tetapi ada juga yang terkucil dekat sini. Right, when they make a prediction, dia terkucil dekat situ. Mana yang terkucil? Right, kalau dalam soalan dia bagi the 3,800. But your data is the income dia bagi dalam point dekat macam ni. Dia dah bagi dah, dia kecilkan situ 35. 35 represent is 3,500. Tapi dalam data dia bagi macam ni. Okay? Alright, and then make sure you bila data bagi sini, so dia punya equation dia akan follow daripada the original one. Alright, dia tak boleh masuk kat sini. Alright, ada juga dekat sini dia bagi equation dekat sini. Okay, so when dia punya soalan dia kata dia nak bagi income is RM3,800. So dia akan, the first one you kena tulis dulu you punya equation to get the answer, to get the marks here. 0.264x. Okay, so kena jadikan when x equal to 3800. So tengok balik dalam data you, dia akan bagi 35, 49. Right, dia ada kosong-kosong dekat sini, dia akan jadi, right, when x kita akan jadi 38. Di mana kosong-kosong kita akan bawa ni akan dapat 38. Barulah kita masukkan dalam therefore, substitute the value of x into the equation. Y equal to 1.1414 plus 0.264 times 38. Barulah accurate value you. Kalau kadang-kadang ada orang juga dia tak perasan. Rasa kita husnuzon dekat orang tu. Dia tak perasan pun. Tu adalah kena tukar dia punya unit. Okay. So dia pakai terus jadi 0.264 times 3,800. So dia akan jadi kat situ lah, dia punya value dia akan jadi lain lah. Okay, so masukkan equation dekat sini. Alright, so barulah kita dapatlah kita punya predictions of Y tu dapat berapa. Okay, alright, so pastikan tengok unit yang diberi. Kalau contohnya kat sini prediction dia kata RM RM1, terus jadi ringgit ataupun dia ada lagi satu. 000, dia 3 kali. Alright, so dia akan jadi, X kita akan jadi 3.8. Okay. Alright. So here, alright, the last part here, alright, kita punya coefficients of determination. Tadi adalah Pearson's of correlation. Now is the coefficients of determination. Di mana is R, capital R square dekat sini. Okay. So what is the coefficient of determination? Alright, coefficient of determination is the, we measure the proportions of variation in dependent variables Y kita tadi that can be explained by the independent variable X. Okay. So ulang sekali lagi. Alright. Coefficient of determination. We measure the proportions of variation in dependent variable ataupun kita punya proportions of variation dalam Y kita that can be explained by kita punya X ataupun independent variables. Alright, to measure the strengths of the linear relationship, particularly when we want to compare different models, kejap Sorry. Okay. All right, to measure the strengths of that linear relationship, all right, so particularly when we want to compare different models. So, sebenarnya daripada kita punya coefficients of determination, all right, this is the R square dekat sini. Alright, so R square is equal to R to power of 2. R square is equal to R square. R square capital R itu sendiri adalah daripada mana? Daripada kita punya value Pearson. Okay, so nilai Pearson kita tadi adalah kita squarekan dia. Okay, so barulah dapat kita punya coefficients of determination. Okay, so the proportions of the variation in Y. This is how to interpret the value of the coefficient. Right, proportion of the variation in Y that is explained by the variation in X. Ini nanti ramailah student menghafal benda ni. Alright, so this is the how to interpret the proportions of the variation in Y that is explained the variation in X. Okay, macam mana kita interpret? Tengok dekat sini. Okay, if the correlation yang kita dapat tadi adalah 0.91, then the coefficients of determination is the R square is equal to 0.91. Ni adalah value daripada Pearson yang kira tadi. So R square, kau tengok balik to get ataupun to calculate the value of the coefficient, R square is equal to 0.91 square, we get the 0.828. Alright, so dapat dekat sini. So berbalik-balik the definitions of kita punya coefficients, alright, coefficient kita tadi. Alright, coefficient kita tadi adalah proportion. Alright, proportion, so how to interpret? So kat sini ada jadi R square. Alright, R square kita sama dengan 0.828. This is a proportion. So kita akan tukarkan dalam percentage. Alright. When R square is equal to 0.828. Right, it means that 82.8% of the total variation in Y can be explained by the regression line using the variable X. Okay. So dekat situ. So ni adalah interpretation untuk kita punya R square. And then kan kita punya the balance. Alright, so macam mana kita nak interpret balance kita? Another, alright, dia di belakang kat sini. Another berapa persen daripada 82.8? Berapa yang tinggal? Daripada 100 tolak dengan 82.8. So another 17.2%, alright, can be explained. Alright, can be explained by other factors. Okay. So ada balance dekat situ is a 17.2% can be explained by other factors. Okay. Alright. So this is how to interpret ataupun nanti kalau kita ada the value of Y and X. Okay, Y and X. So kena masukkanlah kita punya the value of Y, the value of X dekat sini. Alright, kalau macam tadi income tadi, alright, income dengan expenditure, 82.8% of the total variation in Y. Dalam Y kita adalah income. Contoh kat situ. Alright, can be explained by the regression line using the variable expenditure X kita. Right, another 17.2% can be explained by other factors kat situ. Okay? Alright. So this is how to interpret kita punya value ataupun the value of the coefficients kita punya coefficient. Alright. So habislah part kita dekat sini. Alright. Habislah part kita di sini untuk sampai kita punya coefficients of regression. Okay. Apa yang saya nak share dekat sini. Alright. Kita tengok another example here. Alright. Sebelum kita tutupkan kita punya ni saya nak minta you all buat dekat sini and then kita tengok dekat sini. Masa saya nak share dekat sini ya. Okay. Alright. And then cuba jawab soalan dekat sini. Saya bagi dalam 2 minit to identify which one X and which one Y for this one. A random sample of high driver insured with a company and having similar auto insurance policy was selected. The following table lists their driving experience in year and monthly auto insurance premium. Alright. So sebelum kita dah tahulah ni, kita dah tahu dah kita punya statement, kita dah tahu kita punya data. Sebelum kita nak draw kita punya scatter diagram, alright, draw a scatter diagram. Okay, you need to identify which one X, which one Y. Siapa yang bergantung kepada siapa? Adakah driving experience bergantung dengan monthly auto insurance premium ataupun monthly auto insurance premium bergantung kepada driving experience? Siapa yang bergantung kepada siapa? Boleh saya dapatkan jawapan? Siapa yang bergantung kepada siapa? Anyone can answer my question? Diana? Maisara? Pengurusi majlis Hafizah? Siapa yang bergantung kepada siapa?
Driving experience bergantung kepada monthly auto insurance premium.
Mana X? Dia bergantung tak bergantung, dia tak tahu ke mana. Mana X, mana Y?
X dia driving experience.
Driving experience. Okay, so monthly auto insurance is our Y dependent variables. So kalau tengok soalan dekat sini, dia suruh construct a scatter diagram. So dah boleh kita automatic kita draw kita punya scatter diagram. So X kita adalah driving experience dan Y kita adalah monthly auto insurance. Okay, so kita buatlah skill kita di sini. Okay, alright, bila kita skill, kita letakkan kita punya X kita 5 dan kita punya monthly auto insurance 64. So contohlah kat sini 1, 2, 3 ataupun kat sini adalah 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 and then kita letakkan 5 and then kita letaklah kita punya berapa yang skill awak tu, contoh kat sini. Alright, bila you plotkan kat sini, okay, dapatlah kita punya scatter plot, scatter diagram. Alright, bila kita dah dapat scatter diagram dekat sini, kita identify lah kita punya adakah dia positive correlation ataupun negative correlation. Alright, so and then barulah masukkan apa maksud dengan SSXX, SSYY dengan SSXY. Okay, so nanti ada orang, alamak apa benda ni, selalu guna summation of X, summation of Y kat situ kan. So tengok balik, what is the sum of squared XX? What is the sum of squared YY? Yang tadi, kalau kita tengok dalam kita punya apa tadi? Kita punya equation R equal to summation of XY minus summation of X summation of Y divided by N. Yang ni dekat atas ni adalah, dia adalah sum of squared untuk XY. Yang bawah yang saya kata group of X, group of Y, dia adalah kita punya SSXX, SSYY. Okay. So masukkan dalam kalkulator untuk dapatkan kita punya calculate the R square kat sini. Yang ni compute ni adalah you kena list down. Macam example, list down summation of Y apa, summation of Y, summation of X, semua kena list down kat situ. Alright, kalau macam dia kata SSX, dia punya cara untuk tulis adalah summation, SSXX sama dengan kita punya summation of X square minus summation of X to power of 2 divided by N. Ni adalah kita punya XX. YY pula summation of Y square minus summation of Y to power of 2 divided by N. Okay. Yang ni untuk R dengan R square. R is a Pearson. R square adalah kita punya coefficients of determination. Boleh masuk dalam kalkulator, dapatkan the value of R dengan R square. Dan pastikan masukkan dalam equation. Dia tak boleh tiba-tiba R ikut berapa pun tak boleh. Okay. So obtain the regression equation. Ni regression, nampak tak soalan kat sini? Obtain a regression equation using the least square method. That's why lah kat sini. Using the least square method is mean that you kena calculate the value of A, the value of B dekat sini. Okay, so barulah kita dapat dekat situ kita punya equation, satu equation Y equal to A plus BX dekat situ. Okay, alright, and then kita tengok dekat sini, interpret the meaning of the value of A and B. Dia suruh interpret the value of intercept, dia suruh interpret the value of B. Kita punya slope dekat sini. Yang macam saya cakap tadi, kalau A is when X equal to 0, so berapa Y dapat? Kalau kita punya slope, satu unit increase in X, satu unit akan increase di Y. Satu unit increase di X, satu unit decrease di Y, bergantung, is depending on kita punya direction dalam value of X itu sendiri. Alright, sama ada dia punya direction is a negative ataupun positif. Okay. Alright, so dia kata this next one is a draw the equation. So kalau kita punya scatter diagram kat sini, draw equation based on kita punya equation tadi. Kita substitute value, gantikan when X equal to 5, Y dapat berapa, so dapat the straight line kat sini untuk kita identify is Y equal to A plus BX. Okay. So the last part is a predict. Sama juga, you predict, you masukkan Y equal to A plus BX and blah blah kat situ. And then masukkan, dikata kat sini, alright, predict the monthly auto insurance premium for a driver with 10 years of driving experience. So kita dapatlah 10 years, kat sini pakai years juga, dia pakai 10 years, so kita substitute the value of X dalam 10. So dapat berapa kita punya Y dekat situ. Okay. Alright, sama juga ni sisa exercise number 2. Alright, exercise number 3. Saya nak tunjuk kat you all kat sini. Kalau kita ada equation menggunakan SPSS ni, kalau dalam pasir boleh tengok dekat situ. Alright, kalau kita tengok dekat sini, dia bagi satu kita punya statement. Dia bagi kita data, dia bagi kita SPSS output. Right, kita nak investigating the relationship between the length of the stay and the income of a customer. The manager of Mentari Hotel selected 7 customer at random. Alright, nak tengok relationship between the length of stay versus an income. Okay, so kalau you rasa was-was, alamak, siapa bergantung dengan siapa? Okay, so to identify this example, this exercise. So tengok dekat kita punya SPSS output, dekat part coefficient. Okay, dia ada model dekat sini, dia ada unstandardized dekat sini. Okay, kalau you perasan dekat sini, dia ada constant, dia ada income dekat sini. Alright, bawah income ni, bawah constant ni, dekat bawah ni adalah represent for the value of X, bukan the value. Independent variables, okay? So automatically kalau dah tahu dah, oh bawah constant ni adalah X. Okay, automatically kalau dah tahu kat sini X, automatic length of stay adalah Y. Okay, so bawah constant, yang bawah ni, bawah constant, the word income ni adalah X. Kalau dalam SPSS output, this is the X, independent variable. So dia akan terus auto length of stay ni adalah Y. So you dah tahu dah Y you apa, X you apa. So kalau tengok dekat question yang ni, write down the regression equation and interpret the slope value of B of the regression equation in the context of the problem. Okay, so dekat sini slope kita adalah B dekat sini. So kalau dekat sini macam mana kita nak keluarkan equation, tak perlu nak calculate menggunakan data yang ada. So jadi apa? Y equal to A kita dekat mana? You perasan dekat unstandardized coefficient, dekat nilai capital B, constant ni, yang perkataan constant sebelah ni adalah value dia, negative 0.27 represent for the value of A. Kan kita punya equation Y equal to A plus BX. Okay, A kita adalah negative 0.274. Plus, okay, kan jadi plus, okay, plus kat sini. Right, so income ni pula dekat capital B, unstandardized coefficient ni adalah nilai B kita, value of B. So here is a 0.128x kat sini. Alright, so dapat dah equation kita dekat sini. Okay, dapatlah equation kita dekat sini. Alright, so here. Alright, so dapatlah equation, dapatlah markah. Daripada you pening-pening nak mana X, mana Y, nak identify, tengok SPSS output, terus identify dekat sini. So slope ni kita identify the slope. Alright, slope kita adalah positive 0.128. Alright, when one unit, alright, unit kita sekarang X apa dah? Income. Alright, income kita adalah dia pakai 1000. Alright, so kat situ boleh gunakan ataupun kita boleh jadi 1 unit income ataupun 1 unit increase in income. Ataupun jadi 1000 ringgit, RM 1000 increase in income. Alright, so berapa hari length of stay yang boleh kita tengok dekat sini. Okay, so kat sini akan jadi 0.128 days. Ada ke 0.128 days kat situ? Alright, kalau duit harga banyak ni, dia boleh stay berapa lama dekat situ. Alright, so kita tengok balik interpretation untuk kita punya slope dekat situ. Okay, so saya sediakan juga, nanti saya sharekan juga. Alright, so untuk kita punya chapter 5, alright ni saya tunjuk dah sebenarnya. Dalam chapter 5 bivariate analysis ni adalah saya tunjuk contoh untuk pakai calculator yang lama. Okay, kesian kepada orang yang lama-lama calculator lama, dia nak gunakan calculator ni. So saya dah tunjuk kat sini, so how to calculate kita punya bivariate analysis. Kalau yang pakai calculator baru, biru, merah, hijau, kuning, it's okay. Sebab dia boleh cepat dia dapat untuk calculate menggunakan karakter yang baru. Okay, alright, so habis kat sini saya nak summarize kat sini apa yang kita learn for today. Kita tengok kita punya bivariate analysis, di mana dalam bivariate analysis kita sentuh, kita touch about the correlation and the regression. Dalam correlation, what is a correlation? So what is a method for determine the correlation between the two variables? So we have two. The first one is a scatter diagram and the second one is a Pearson's correlation. And then kita sentuh juga kita how to interpret the value of R. So how to calculate the value of R by using the formula. So how to interpret the value of R, you need to remember that to interpret the value of R is starting with the strength and followed by the direction. Alright, and then kita sentuh juga the part of the regression. So what is the regression? Alright, so apa itu jenis-jenis regression? Alright, kita tengok the simple linear regression, ada banyak multiple linear regression and so on. Tapi in this part, alright, in this topic we touch about the linear regression. So how to calculate the least square method, how to draw a regression line. So how to write the equation, regression equation model kat situ. Alright, and the last part adalah kita buat prediction. And lupa juga saya nak sentuh kat situ, kita tengok juga kita punya coefficients of determination is the R square. Macam mana how we calculate the R square is from the Pearson's value. Alright, so R square, capital R square is equal to R, the Pearson's value is a power of 2. And then we get the coefficients of determination. Alright, so dia adalah serba sedikit kita punya topic for the bivariate analysis. Alright, so thank you for pengurusi. Saya bagi balik kepada pengurusi majlis Nur Hafizah.
Okay, thank you Dr. Aslili for a great explanation about bivariate analysis. So, is there any question? Can ask in the chat box. So I think there are no question. So before we close our webinar, I would like thank you for all the participants that who joined our webinar, and especially for our speaker, Dr. Nur Aslili. So